Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. Oh my goodness, very exciting. It turns out I made a mistake going from SmackDown Notes to Survivor Series. After reshuffling the deck, it turns out I did not need to book the 3-on-3 matches starting on the pre-show. The show opens up with the NPAA of Farouk, Bradshaw, and D'Lo versus the Iron Addicts, that being Jacked Johnny, Vascular Val, and Magic Mark. We have a lot of guys I'm a fan of in this equation.
Big buddies.
D'Lo Brown, guy I love a lot. Ron Simmons, one of my first favorites. Yeah, first time, all time. And Mark Jindrak is a guy that if I had the book today, if I had the ear of Tony Khan today, I would say, Luchasaurus, you're going to have you a nostalgia match against Mark Jindrak because I love that guy. For the TNT title, that is. I mean.
Oh, of course, yeah, right.
So,
so wouldn't he be wrestling Christian Cage?
Right, exactly. I love that gimmick.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh my god. So I don't know when I'll ever get to say this again, so I got to share with the viewing audience something I told you this week.
Oh, okay.
So I would love for Luchasaurus to open his eyes to Christian Cage, and the minute he does, goozle him by the neck and get gored by Rhino. So Luchasaurus, he calls out Christian the following week, and Rhino, because they both come out. And he says that's fine. I'll take both of you on. So he goozles both of them, and then he gets speared by Edge, or corner, or vertical, or whatever you want to call it.
Or Sexton Hardcastle.
There you go. So now, Luchasaurus the following week says, I'll take on all three of you. And this is when Tony...
Luchasaurus, man, despite that master's degree, is not very smart.
So Tony Khan says, I approve of the enthusiasm, yes. Luchasaurus.
Like the energy.
But I cannot permit you to take on these three legends of the game. Yeah. And so I am mandating that you have partners. And Luchasaurus says that, well, if I must, then you can pick them. And so Tony Khan, he sets it up. Whether it's a TV or a pay-per-view or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it is Christian, Edge, and Rhino versus the team I am dubbing the Space Cowboys of Gravity and Bandito teaming up with Luchasaurus. Reason being is, and I know this is corny as all heck, but I don't care. I like corny sometimes. When I see the team of the Space Cowboys, Gravity and Luchasaurus, or Gravity and Bandito teaming with Luchasaurus, I can't help but think of Toy Story. And so because of that, I just got to book that match.
Comedy.
Comedy, oh my goodness. Love it. So, as I was saying...
Alright, let's survive this series. So,
Farouk wins the match because, again, he's one of my all-time favorites. He can pin Val Venus, not going to hurt Jack Johnny or Magic Mark. What is Raw opening up with here on the Survivor Series?
Come on, Oz, you already know.
I think I do.
It's Christian versus HBK for the U.S. title.
I'm all right with that.
It's the match that the people want to see. And for the sake of time, it's a great back-and-forth match. There's plenty of spots, but...
I'm pretty sure I've seen this match before.
Yeah, I've seen this match a few times, so that's how I know it's good.
Yes.
But Christian, being smarter than everyone else in the room, decides to work on Shawn Michaels' knee. So, it's really hard to throw a super kick with one leg.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
because one of those legs have to go in the air and the other have to support you.
Exactly.
You can't support yourself, you're going down.
Yep, so either you kick with your bad knee, reduces the power of the kick, or you kick your leg out of your leg, as the legend Psycho Sid once said. And that's pretty much what Shawn does. He throws the super kick, his supporting leg collapses underneath him. Christian locks on a figure 4 and actually gets a big submission victory over Shawn Michaels.
I like that.
Yeah. Why a figure 4, you asked? I thought it would sound good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how rarely do people win with that move? I mean, Charlotte obviously can do it.
No. She doesn't even use the figure 4. It's 8.
Yeah.
She has the extra elevation.
Extra elevation. You're correct.
Hell, even Rick, famous for the move, barely won with that move.
So our next 3-on-3 single fall match is the Regal counter threat of Bishop Storm, Knight's Test, and Rook Nowinski versus Booker T and his 2 mystery partners. So, first, Booker's in the ring, and you hear that classic Diesel sound, right? Exactly. So, the man held the title, the WWF Championship, over a year. So, it makes good common sense that Booker T would choose Big Daddy Cool.
Diesel.
But the third man of this group is a former stablemate of Booker T from the Wednesday Night Wrestling Remix.
But who? Who could it be?
Well, you hear some classic words come over the speakers when a man with a very distinct voice says, "Holla, if you hear me," and you hear that siren, and so... Exactly. So Booker T says to Scott Steiner when he gets in the ring, he says, "BFG, brother, best first generation." And so Kevin Nash, being a first generation wrestler himself, is the newest member of BFG, the reformed faction from the old WCW.
The AEW version.
Yes, the AEW version of our former WCW BFG, which was Rick, Scott, and Booker in that world.
Of course.
Scott Steiner, he puts Nowinski in a Steiner recliner, which I think he may have actually did on this show realistically, because this Survivor Series was the debut of Scott, but in the real world, he was a free agent.
Yeah.
And he makes a fool out of a few guys from both shows.
Yeah, that makes more sense. All
right, we're up for the Raw match.
Yes. So we close out the series with Too Cool and the Dudley Boys. Falls Count Anywhere. And they go all over the arena. They're fighting in the crowd, out of the crowd, ringside. In fact, they fight pretty much everywhere but the ring.
I like it, yeah.
It's phenomenal. So, to make a long story short, they end up in the back. They're brawling. There's how the WWE has like those flight cases?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they stuff Rikishi in one of those.
Oh, are they big enough?
Think.
Okay, well,
I mean, they carry some big equipment.
That's
so
true.
In theory,
yes.
I would think.
And even
you know what? They fit all the Spirit Squad in one.
That's true. I was gonna say, but even if they don't naturally, they can always just custom make one.
Yeah,
I mean, they did it for Yoko. They can do it for.
They did it for Big Show.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, they lock him in. They kind of like push him off to the side and like just buried in junk.
Of course, yeah.
Whatever the junk may be.
Very Braun Strowman-esque.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great comparison.
He's done a lot of chaos in his days.
Big time. But of course, this leaves my guy Scotty to go 1-on-2 with the Dudley Boys. And Dudley Boys aren't one of the greatest tag teams in the world for no reason.
Absolutely.
So, as much as I love Scotty, catching a 3D through a table in the back is pretty much a recipe for disaster for him.
For sure.
And this ends
the Too Cool. Yeah.
This ends Too Cool's chapter in AEW.
Yeah.
It was a great run. Had great tag team title runs. Great feuds.
Can I mention something?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Dudley Boys have ended 2 great
Legendary
teams.
tag teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is something to write home about.
Right. It's another feather in the cap along with them being a tag team champion in every single company they've been in.
Yes.
I'm not sure because I don't think they've ever been in ROH, but have they been the ROH tag champions?
I don't think they were ever there as a team. I know Bubba was 6-man champs with the Briscoes.
Yes, that one I remember.
But I don't think Devon was wrestling.
Was he about retired or working for WWE?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing. When you're working them back at WWE,
yeah, about to say when you're a producer, it pretty much means your career is over.
Yes. So when it comes to the trios championship match, we're down to the NPAA of Farouk, Bradshaw, D'Lo, and they are taking on the team of BFG. Booker, Kevin, and Scotty.
Got it.
Yeah, Scott Steiner.
Yeah, done. I was piecing it together.
And so, with that, So Scott, he tapped out Nowinski.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have Kevin Nash hitting D'Lo with the jackknife powerbomb.
course.
1, 2, 3. They advance on after winning 2 matches, mind you. They advance on to face the Magnitude followers after Josiah's next match for the Team Extreme Tornado titles.
Cool. And my next match, welcome with trios action, actually.
Oh yeah, it's the ladies elimination match.
Yes. And our only technical Survivor Series match.
Of course.
So-
But that's good. I like it
Yes.
because they didn't do one. So
Yeah, I'm about to say, so that makes us better.
absolutely.
Good job, us.
Yes.
So we have the newly formed Black Widows Alliance versus Jazz, Nydia, and Molly Holly.
Yes.
So, pretty much I'll just run down the eliminations because it's really hard to talk through a 6-person tag team match.
Absolutely.
We start with Jazz getting disqualified after pushing the ref by. So it's a classic. You listen to my instructions that she's beating the crap out of Ivory in the corner, and she pretty much just shoves the ref
Yeah.
out of the way.
So her anger has boiled over.
Yes, and the referee is like, you know what? I can disqualify you and the match won't end. So get out of here.
Yeah, I like that. Makes sense.
Yep. So that cuts down Jazz. We are down 2-3.
Yep.
Next, we have Lydia getting her first pinfall victory over Ivory. Hitting, so I had to look up moves for Nydia because I couldn't remember what her finisher was.
Sure. Did
And-
she ever have one?
No.
Okay.
So,
I wouldn't have been surprised.
yeah. However, she did throw a mean Northern Light suplex, almost Alicia Fox-esque.
Okay.
So, that is her finisher in our universe.
That sounds good to me.
So, she hits a mean
Oh my
Northern
goodness, dude.
Yeah.
That reminded me.
What's up?
So I was watching this match, Dalton Castle versus who was
Jay
it?
White?
No, it was a week before.
Shane Taylor?
Maybe it was a week before that. But regardless, I was watching this match.
Well, I say Don Castle had a great match.
Yeah, Dalton
Shock
Castle.
horror.
Dalton Castle had a great match. He kneed his opponent in the gut, and kneed whatever. They went up to the top rope.
Oh, I know this spot.
He did, and then he went on the outside and hit a running knee, and the
Yeah.
opponent went to the outside.
Oh my God. Oh, who was it?
I don't
Oh,
remember.
I can't remember.
But it's a great spot.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal spot.
My point is, I stole that and give to a wrestler as their finish.
Oh,
So, a member of my roster who has not yet been introduced is
Yeah.
going to get that running knee to the outside as their finish going forward. Because I saw that and I was like, how is that not
that's
the end of the
amazing.
match?
I'm about to say,
It's
what's
like-
the match not over?
I was like, how is this not the end?
My God. Yeah, because I know exactly the spot you're talking about.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
mad
so
at it.
memorable.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't remember.
Yeah, so, it's just, we binge a lot, so.
Yeah, I'm about to say just smash everything
Yeah.
together. I got you. But yeah. Where was I?
Nydia finisher, Northern Lights.
Northern Lights on Ivory, getting the pin on Ivory.
So now we're even.
Yes, now we're even 2-2. Victoria hits the Widow's Peak on Nydia, getting her up out of here. And we're down to my girl Molly.
Yeah.
And Molly,
She's mighty.
mighty, quite mighty. Big back and forth between Molly and Victoria. Ends with Molly hitting a roll up on Victoria for the 1-2-3. Victoria, the champion, is pinned.
Yes.
However, Victoria, the champion, is not a fan of being pinned.
No kidding.
And especially since this is their first pinfall loss,
Since
Yeah.
debut.
period.
Yeah.
I'm about to say in her career.
Yep.
So, of course, she takes that about as well as you think she does.
Well, and the bright side is she can't be disqualified. She's already
Exactly.
eliminated.
5 steps ahead, big brain play. Beats the ever-loving-ish out of poor Molly. Hits a Widow's Peak, leaving my girl Jackie Moore to just go ahead, pick the bones, roll her over, and get the 1-2-3 Black Widow Alliance with their first victory.
I like it. That's smart. Smart booking.
Man, speaking of smart booking, what's this trio stack
So,
looking like?
as you may know from watching this show, because lots of people actually do watch this show.
Yeah,
The most recent one.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. But the most recent video is up there. It's doing real good.
Yeah.
But in that most recent, we saw the further evolution of what Matt Hardy is doing with the Cruiserweight title. So it started, he instituted the captain rule where you can only pin the captain.
Yes.
And the Falls Count Anywhere, the Team Extreme rules, right?
Yep. Tornado.
Then he introduced a third title.
Yes.
But the thing is, even though he's being very inventive with this division, he's not being very defending with this division, right?
Oh, that doesn't sound like Matt.
And so here, Matt, Shannon, and Crash, they face their biggest challenge since these titles were introduced, that being former world champion Kevin Nash, former world champion Booker T, and, sorry Scotty, never world champion in our world, Scott Steiner.
Oh yeah, I forgot we didn't do that.
Yeah, so when him and Booker aligned together, he didn't get a run with the title.
Right.
But he's still a very decorated champion.
About to say multi-time tag champion.
Absolutely. And
So-
he had, I think he held every secondary title in WCW. And
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Either him and his brother, they had all of them at one point. But the point
between
is,
the two of them.
in this semi-main event, Booker T, Kevin Nash, and Scott Steiner, they all hit big-time power moves. Scotty hits the Steiner screwdriver on
Jesus Christ, that's a nasty move.
on Crash Holly.
Yep.
Kevin Nash hits the jackknife
Jackknife.
on Shannon, and Booker T hits the scissors kick on Matt Hardy, landing the 1-2-3, crowning brand new Team Extreme Tornado champions. And from this point forward, spoiler, it will no longer be scaredy cat time for this division. It'll be
Division time for this.
well. I was gonna say it's like we're turning on the badassness, right? So these are all three guys who can deliver, and so then they do.
I'm about to say ring generals.
Yes.
In the highest order.
Oh, absolutely, man! I'm so stoked for this co-branded main event, the first ever.
Hold up, we still got. Well, I have two more things.
Okay, go for it.
Yep.
I was just saying I'm excited for the main event.
Oh yeah, no, this main event will be great.
Yeah.
But before that, we have Jericho and Kane versus Hardcore Vice.
I
For
forgot
the
about that.
tag team
My bad.
titles. It's all good. It's all good.
That's what happens when I get jumping the gun.
Yeah, because I just have a segment after this.
That's
It's
all good.
just, for ha-ha, giggles.
Sure.
For the very, very
While they
brutal-
lower down the cage.
Yeah, for the very brutal, very dangerous match that's coming right after.
Absolutely.
But yeah, basically just to keep it short, Jericho and Kane retain because it's Dreamer and Richards versus Jericho.
Of course, yeah. Two of those guys on one side are tip top guys, and the other two are not.
Legends.
Yes,
but,
right, but not.
But
They're
they're not Jericho and Kane.
Correct, yeah.
Multi-time world champions,
Absolutely.
Jericho and Kane.
I just realized while I was talking down about Steven and Dreamer
Mm-hmm.
that they both all are actually former ECW world champions. That's why I was like,
which is why it was funny.
yeah. But it's just there's a different level when you look at it.
I'm about to say this is AEW, damn it. This ain't ECW.
Exactly.
This ain't bingo halls and peasant leagues.
Peasant league.
As Jericho said as he was walking off, like doing like the Roman Reigns
Of
style,
course, yeah.
talking ish to the camera
Yes.
as he leaves.
Yes.
But yes, fun little match. And then retaining the tag titles, obviously.
Yes.
And then in the back we have Goldust, kind of looking around, and Billy Gunn sitting. What's the equivalent of sitting on your phone in 2002?
I have a thought crossing my mind, so we'll just do that. You remember that time that Brock Lesnar was reading that hunting magazine?
Yes.
So Billy can be looking at Asses Are Us,
Oh, that's phenomenal.
the magazine, or something there.
Nope, that fits perfectly with Billy's character.
Yes.
And Goldust walks up to Billy. He's like, Billy, I couldn't help but notice how you don't have any friends anymore. And, I couldn't help but notice how I don't have any friends anymore. So I think we could be friendless together.
Right.
And Billy says, nah, absolutely not.
Love that.
And then walks away. And while all that was happening, we're getting ready for our main event of the evening.
Love it. So, yeah, they lower that ominous structure full of chains and miles of damaging danger and bull crap.
JR reads off the stat list that Michael Cole reads
Oh, yeah.
off
Love
every
it.
single elimination
Yes.
chamber. Except this time it's the first time, so it's
First
actually
time.
special.
Special, yeah. The first time's always a big deal, but, I mean, my God. how
The
many years has it been
3,000
now?
repeats
Yeah.
afterwards, not so much.
Yeah, so, but yeah, undisputed champion, Brock Lesnar, defending against SmackDown's The Undertaker and Rey Mysterio, and also from Raw,
We have Triple H,
Yes.
Rob Van Dam,
and one final competitor.
who, I don't know if you noticed, but in that tag match with Hardcore Vice, they were lacking a certain human being, a certain mentor, a certain leader, if you will.
I did notice that he was not there.
Yeah, that's because he's in this match.
All right.
Our hardcore champion, Raven, has Ravened his way into this match.
I like it.
By convincing Mick that
Hey,
You need to bring the danger.
Yes.
It is very dangerous. Structure.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, Raven and Mick Foley are both ECW stalwarts. I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Yep. It makes the most sense, especially since I'm not going to have Raven in like 2 months. So,
Yes, that's
better
smart.
use them.
Yes. I think it's more a little less than that. I don't know what day in January, but
Hold up, because I actually got it marked down on the old.
so I don't know.
The 6th. He's gone on the 6th.
Yeah, so
the
it's
first
basically
week.
it's basically not even a month or
Yep,
2 months away.
very first week.
So my question is this: did you book the match via elimination, or did you just know who wins? Because all I did was notate who won.
Yeah, so I notated who won and how he won.
Okay, perfect. Then let's fast forward to the finish of said match because, like I said, I didn't book the. I just knew we both agreed who was winning, so I just let it go.
Yep, so I'll go ahead and bring it home since technically they're both my guys anyway.
Absolutely.
So, basically, yada yada, blah blah blah, blood and guts.
Yes.
We're down to just Triple H and Brock Lesnar, and Triple H, bloody mess. I'm gonna say it for semantics just because it was funny. Triple H entered 6th and Brock entered 1st.
That makes sense to me.
Yep, and yet
Can I make another point?
Yeah.
So, whoever, or not whoever, but since we're down to just the first and the last, I think that the last person who got eliminated should be Rey Mysterio. So
Yeah.
he's been taking a beating this whole time. Obviously,
legend
He's
of the game.
legend of getting beat down.
Yeah.
And so he is eliminated. They open that said door to get his dead carcass out of there.
Mhm.
Then what happens?
Yeah, actually, that's perfect. So I did want to add a couple things before that.
Absolutely.
That's actually perfect. So that spot where Triple H gets his larynx crushed
Yes.
still happens.
Of course.
Because how could it not? I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
Well, because we don't unbook injuries. That's
yeah,
that's why.
exactly. So and it's still Raw because
Yes.
So which is why I put him in the match.
Absolutely.
But yes, so they get poor dead Rey Mysterio's carcass out of the ring, and Ric Flair runs in and distracts the referee. Paul Heyman comes in to try and stop him, and of course Rick just decks him.
Of course, yeah. Well, 2 managers, but one of these managers is a former 16-time
Yeah,
world champion.
Technically 24 if you want to be real
Of course, yeah.
But,
But it's
yeah.
I just go by what they recognize, but I understand that there are far more
accurate.
accurate analysis.
Yes, but former 16-time world champion Ric Flair versus never wrestled a day in his life Paul Heyman. Yeah, slight difference. Slight
Yes,
difference.
yeah.
But yeah, so Flair decks Heyman, and in comes a debuting Dave Batista.
Love
it's
it.
literally just Batista.
Yes.
And Randall Keith Orton.
Love it. So the beauty of this Ric Flair Paul Heyman spot isn't, to me, that the referee need to be distracted.
No.
Because anything goes in this match.
Right,
What it
does
is
not.
it prevents the referee from relocking the door.
Exactly.
Much like how recently Montez Ford had this sell spot.
Yeah.
Selling spot.
Yes.
Where everybody thought, oh my God, is he really
is he
hurt?
dead? Is he injured? And then
And
5 seconds later, we're like, oh,
Logan
no.
Paul's here, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God it's a work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was actually concerned for his well-being because.
Until you see Logan Paul, then you're like, oh, everything's
thank
fine.
God. That's the one time I was happy to see Logan Paul
Exactly.
in my whole life.
But yeah, no, that's why I'm glad you did the Ric Flair spot because like obviously I did the Mysterio getting out of their gimmick to leave the door open, but that
Exactly.
you kept the door open. Yes,
See, and this is why we're a great team.
absolutely, I agree.
But yeah. So you remember that Batista bomb RKO combo?
Of course I do.
Debris.
Yeah.
D Brian.
Yes,
Yeah. So that's,
it's in every 2K game.
yeah. It is. It is. So yeah, that's what they know Brock with. Then of course, Triple H picks him up with a classic Triple H shit-eating grin. Hits a pedigree, rolls Brock over. 1, 2, 3. We have a new, 2-time undisputed
Yes,
champion,
which
Triple H.
I love the slow progression of the creation of Evolution within the context of the story. So, if you remember right, on this channel, Triple H won the undisputed championship for Chris Jericho in the opening match of WrestleMania. He did that as a babyface.
Yes.
But every
Man.
freaking week since AEW existed, he's been edging ever closer to the heel side of the ledger.
Yep.
whether he's gambling with Rick, whether there's girls, whether it's jet flying, limousine riding,
riding.
all the good stuff. And oh my goodness, that familiar cramp. I love that you did that tease.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yep. And that's the other thing. The other thing is just like, even building up to this show, he's been getting double team, triple team, et cetera, because no one likes Triple H.
Yes.
So
Of course you have to bring in fresh
you have
blood.
to find friends.